all heard the talk that businesses need to be more diverse, but how do you achieve that? Do you use carrot or stick?
In the vibrant landscapes of UK's corporate system, discussions surrounding diversity and inclusion have gained significant momentum. As companies recognize the value of a diverse workforce, a challenge emerges. How can they ensure that talented individuals from minority groups not only become part of their organizations but also thrive within them? Enoch Adeyemi, a visionary leader who understood the potential of these talented individuals not being fully utilized due to systemic barriers, inspired to make a difference, set out to create a solution.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion in education and in the workplace. It's known as DEI, and it represents an institution, organizations, or entities' commitment to changing the culture to ensuring full participation and consideration of all types of groups.
My name is Enoch Adeyemi, and by profession, I'm a chartered accountant. However, beyond that, I've also founded a few organizations here in Scotland. So I lead the biggest Black professionals network in Scotland called Black Professionals Scotland, which I founded back in 2016, which is a platform to support Black students and Black professionals in Scotland and, looking to come to Scotland to make Scotland home. There are a few places I love to be. I love to be in my house and I also love to be outdoors. But everything that has come my way, everything about the opportunity to do, everything about the opportunity to be involved in, I think I owe it all to God. I can't ever thank God enough, and that's something, that is very powerful in my household.
Enoch's early life in Mushin was marked by challenges. Growing up in a considerable slum, he faced adversity that tested his spirit and strength.
I was born in Ijebu-Ode, which is a southwestern town in Nigeria. But even though I was born in Ijebu-Ode, I actually grew up in Lagos State. So I grew up in the hustle and bustle of that big city. And there wasn't much, we didn't have much growing up. We had enough, so I won't say I suffered growing up, but we didn't have much. And my earliest memory growing up was, we had a one-bed flat, and dad and mom sort of stayed, were in bed, and myself and my siblings and aunties and uncles were on the floor, on the mat. That was one of my earliest memories growing up. But I'm fortunate that I came out of it stronger, and it's part of my DNA and it's part of who I am today.
Education became Enoch's beacon of hope. He recognized that education was a ticket to transcending the limitations of his circumstances.
When I finished secondary school, I was not fortunate enough to get into a university because university places in Nigeria was and is still very competitive. So we had a few options. We were exploring options with my parents. And one of the options available was for me to go do an A-level in a college in Lagos. So while I was doing my A-levels, a representative came from British Council to the college to tell us about opportunities to go to the UK to complete our university degrees. But this was a pipe dream because my parents could never afford it. We were not there financially. And thankfully for me, I got the grades needed to get into the University of Liverpool, even though we really had nowhere to find that money because the income they were making from their business definitely could not fund their education, but it took a shot on me, and I think that's part of what makes me as well. In 2003, packed my bags, and that was me on the way to the University of Liverpool. I studied accounting and finance, and then my final year, I saw my colleagues in class applying for jobs in the UK, and I thought, I'll give that a shot as well. And that didn't work out. I tried hard as much as I can. I applied for lots and lots and lots of jobs, and I kept on getting no and no and no. When I finished my degree and there was no job offer, I was fortunate enough to then continue with my master's, and that was what brought me to the University of Stirling in Scotland. Eventually, in August 2008, I go on a graduate program with an asset management firm in Edinburgh. I felt very blessed because, not because I didn't deserve it, but because I know a lot of people, or I knew a lot of people at that time that equally deserved it, but were not getting the opportunity.
His experiences from Mushin taught him resilience and determination, qualities he channeled into turning his vision into reality.
I believe I suffer from survivor's guilt, and I'm not sure why this is the case, but I think this is one of what drives what I do today. Growing up in Lagos, growing up in Mushin, which is a very deprived part of Lagos, and here I am today. I feel like I survived that place. I feel like I made it here despite growing up there. But then there's this guilt of I made it out, but the people I grew up with did not make it out. And I think those are the things that shape what I do today. Those are the things that drive what I do today. I'm very community focused. I think that survivor's guilt brought me to where I am today.
As the initiative gained momentum, it evolved beyond its local boundaries. Enoch realized that the demand for a platform like this was nationwide, leading to a transformational change.
One thing I believe is it's good to, work hard and try and build a good life for yourself. But at the same time, it's also good to look after your physical well-being. So what I've been doing is I go to the gym. I try to go to the gym every day of the week, Monday to Friday, but that's not a reality, but that's what I target every week. The rebrand from Edinburgh Black Professionals to Black Professionals Scotland started with the hat-trick of events in 2020. First it was the pandemic, COVID, and then followed by George Floyd's death, and followed by the Black Lives Matter movement. That hat-trick of events basically propelled us from EBP to BPS. We quickly found that what we're doing in Edinburgh was actually needed across Scotland, and there was no one else doing it across the rest of the country. So that prompted us to go nationwide. Our membership has grown to just under 4,000 folks across the country, and we currently have about 30 partners that we work with. These are organizations and companies that we support, and for some reason there are barriers to these two groups connecting. And what BPS is essentially doing is we are bridging the gap between these two groups and ensuring that these talents find these organizations and succeed within these organizations, and these organizations find these talents and give them a place to succeed. And I think that sweet spot is where BPS sits. The challenges we have in Scotland is not unique to Scotland. These challenges exist everywhere across the world for black folks. And this has given us the opportunity to extend some of the good work we're doing in BPS into Europe. And I'm very excited to share that we're launching Black Professionals Europe, BPE, in Europe.
Black Professionals Europe!
Enoch Adeyemi's remarkable journey from the narrow alleys of Mushin, Lagos, to founding the largest professional network for ethnic minority groups in Scotland and beyond is a story of determination, resilience, and the transformative power of one person's vision.
As the population of black people continues to grow in Scotland, maybe those already living in Scotland or black people migrating to Scotland, we are trying to create a system whereby talented individuals can be given the opportunities to thrive in their career. And what that means is this is good for the individual, this is good for Scotland, it's good for the wider UK, but most importantly, it's good for the generations to come. And how we're doing this is through internships. Internships is giving opportunities to people to get their first break into the UK workplace through placements, through working with our partners, our corporate partners across the country, for them to open their doors, for us to take our talents in and to connect those two groups of people. So it's an exciting time, and I think the true effect of BPS will be felt and the stories will be told 30, 40, 50 years from today. The success we've had as Black Professionals Scotland, is it luck or is it hard work? It was none, really. It was just passion, the passion from people, myself and others that were there from day one, wanting to support the Black community. What has kept me going from the EBP days back in 2016 was that knowledge that there's a need for what we were doing. There was a need for EBP, there's a need for BPS, and BP can be the vehicle for change. And who knows, from BP, who knows where we'll go next. I mean, the future is truly, truly exciting. If me, Enoch, the boy that grew up in Mushin, which is a relatively poor neighborhood in Lagos State, can be here today leading one of the biggest Black organizations in the UK, then anything is possible. You out there, no matter where you are, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, your dreams are valid. So 2 things, keep having crazy dreams and make sure you have the right people around you to help you achieve those crazy dreams.
Enoch's story continues to inspire individuals around the world, proving that where you come from doesn't determine where you can go, and that every journey, no matter how humble its beginnings, can create ripples of change that touch people's lives across the continent.